Hey guys, Thickens back with another DPS how-to guide. This time it's on my Marauder, playing the Annihilation spec. I don't know any other specs, so maybe I'll learn those, but this is supposed to be the highest single target damage, which is pretty much only relevant for operations. So that's kind of what I focus on, and that's why it's on Annihilation. So this rotation is very heavily reliant on a couple pieces of gear. One of those pieces of gear is the tactical. It makes Rupture, which is one of your bleeds, do 10% more damage, but it also takes Rupture out of your rotation, basically, if you're doing it correctly, because you apply it once, and then there are 3 abilities that refresh the duration of Rupture and also cause it to instantly tick. So it makes Rupture be a huge part of your overall damage, and that's basically the cookie cutter piece. The DPS set that you wear is the Descent of the Fearless. You wear the 6-piece plus the 1, dual sabers, whatever. The accuracy is supposed to be around right at 110. My alacrity is lower than what the guides recommend. They recommend, like, I want to say it's 6.5 or 7%, something like that. That's just to reduce the GCD and then the cooldown on your actual abilities. As you can tell, my alacrity is not in the perfect spot. My crit is really low. I'm not augmented. So this is going to be like a suboptimal damage, but it's still really good damage. I can do about 12-13k single target sustained over 5 million damage, which is substantial. It's nowhere near its cap. It's probably only 2/3 of the DPS cap. This spec seems to be able to sustain around 22 or 23k fully augmented, and you have all your gear and items in the right spot. So it's definitely a very high DPS spec. Rotation is very easy. The opener is way harder than anything else. The biggest thing about the opener is it takes time because of this skill right here. It's called Brooding. It's whenever you channel Madness, you gain Fury. So you can build 30 stacks of Fury before the fight. And that's what you want to do. So you start off by channeling Hatred. And as you can see, well, I guess you can't see right here, but on my little character buff thing, I'm getting stacks of Fury, which procs these. So now on pull, I can jump in to the target with Force Charge, immediately pop Bloodlust, Rupture, Deadly Saber, Force Rend, and then I'm going to do Furious Power into Annihilate. And then from here, the rotation is super static. Once you're starting building, you're going to be using Vicious Slash pretty much all the time. You're going to refresh Deadly Saber every time it's off cooldown, and then you're going to use Berserk every time it's up. You're going to use Dual Saber Throw with procs only, and then the rest of the rotation is Vicious Slash, Vicious Slash. It's very, very, very easy to do. You're going to throw in a Furious Power, Annihilate every single time it's off cooldown. And the idea is that you stack up as many Furious Powers as possible before the cooldown of Annihilate comes up. But you want to pop Furious Power into Annihilate exactly every single time that Annihilate comes up. And every time you use Annihilate, the cooldown becomes shorter and shorter. So you're going to pretty much only get one stack of Furious Power unless you get a lucky proc. And this is what the rotation looks like. As you can see, I'm just here clicking right now, and that's definitely not ideal. But you can see my DPS is around 11k with just clicking and not doing everything perfectly. So that's the DPS rotation. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, just reach out on Discord or leave a comment and I'll try to respond. The AOE rotation for this spec is really dumb. It's not very great, but it's not bad. If you get the Malmorial Mask Tactical, which I do not have, basically it makes Annihilate do AOE damage. Every time you hit some target that has Rupture on it with Annihilate, it does an AOE in the target. But the AOE rotation, basically you're just going to start smacking things. You want to put Rupture up. If you can put Rupture up on 2 or 3 targets, if they're going to live for more than 10 seconds, that's what you should do. And then you can use Smash as your regular AOE. That's the hardest hitter AOE ability. and then Sweeping Slash is just the cookie cutter, and then you're going to use dual saber throw. But if you can apply Rupture to 4 or 5 targets and then do a smash, you'll get a dual saber throw proc for the bonus damage. You'll throw it, and then it will refresh dots on every target that it hits, which is super awesome for sustained AoE. As far as burst AoE goes, it's not very much. Not the good class to do that on. So that's AoE DPS in a nutshell. Let me know what you guys think.